camping, car camping. So I have Laura here this time. Fun fact, she learned how to drive stick shift just for this trip. So now she can help drive. So we have snacks in the back. Laura brought many snacks, and we're driving about 8-ish hours today. We're hopefully gonna end up in Matin around 1 p.m. So we're doing a similar trip to what I did last year, but this year we're gonna try and hit some different hiking spots and show Laura the area. Okay, how was your first sleep?
It was pretty comfy, actually.
Fuck yeah.
Quite cozy.
Okay. We did an upgrade. So this, as you remember, last year I had the curtains all around. This year we installed these little window coverings, so now we have more space. And we have 2 pads for sleeping. And other than Laura not moving the headrest further enough, we can basically stretch out.
Because we're pretty short, so we fit.
Yeah, we're not tall. Day 1 recap. We drove from Ottawa to, what's it?
Rimouski.
Yes. So we got at 2:30 in the morning-ish. We slept at a little park area with a bunch of other campers. Our drive out was very interesting. We had all the weather.
Very foggy.
Very foggy. Laura drove through that. We had a fine group of men that were in a car next to us that were singing to loud music, and they had their windows down and they're motioning at us to interact, and it was very fun. And then an hour and a half later, they caught up to us again somehow.
They decided to chat with us again.
And then they were hanging out with us again, and then obviously the other cars were like, move. And then eventually they're just like, bye! And they drove away. We missed a turn because there was pylons blocking the exit.
Darn pylons.
Fucking pylons. And it made us do, what, like a half an hour detour?
I think so.
Over a tour of 2 bridges.
Just toured part of Quebec City.
When we got booted off and we couldn't go the right exit, we had to stay long. There was like a bunch of traffic congestion because of the construction or something. And there was this guy who was behind us, and we all had to merge into one lane. And he was like, no, I'm gonna merge into you.
Just in, like, almost into us.
Yeah, he was behind us. I don't think he was blinking on behind us. And then they're next to the vehicle, so like not even in front of us to merge. And he starts coming into our lane, and Laura's like, is he just? I'm like, I think so. So then I go to speed up to get past him because I'm like, no, sir.
And he was like, nah, I'm going ahead.
I'm gonna merge into your vehicle. Don't stop me. So that was great. I was annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great part of our detour.
Okay, day 2 recap. We slept in because we got in very late the night before, so we slept until 10. We got ourselves sorted in the car, went to a little rest stop for our breakfast, where we made the food in the vehicle because it was raining and cold.
It wasn't raining, it was a hard mist.
It was a hard mist. Yeah, it hasn't rained on this trip. It's only misted in different variations.
Maybe a drizzle, maybe a spit, but no rain.
No actual rain. And then we drove to
Gaspé National Park.
And we did a hike there on, was it?
Mount Zalbion?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a really beautiful hike.
About 10K.
Yep. When all was said and done, we had our head in the clouds, literally.
Quite literally.
It was very chilly at the top and very windy, but very
Thought
nice.
I was going to get blown off the mountain.
100%. Laura almost died. Many times.
It's okay. We made it.
Our ankles survived. We were trying to drive up the middle of like the Gaspé peninsula.
Yeah, to cross the national park.
Yeah. Like the GPS brought us on this weird random route where like it was just dirt gravel road. And if the suspension wasn't already shit in this car,
It was a little rough.
it's now making some interesting noises this morning. So we got lost there on some imaginary roads. Our car wasn't tracking on the GPS anymore. We were literally non-existent pathways.
Jeanette, where are we?
I don't know. It was like what, like a 40-minute detour?
At least, yeah.
At least. But
it worked out. And what did we see?
we saw some mooses.
So many!
We saw 3.
We got so excited.
There was one that like came across the road, and then it went into there's like a little meadow valley area
With the most perfect sunset.
illuminating this beautiful moose.
It was just majestically looking at us.
And it just chilled there for like a good 5 minutes while we took photos of it.
We were pretty excited after our long drive.
Laura was very excited about the moose.
Just a wee bit.
She was like, back up, back up. I want to see the moose. And then we saw some baby moose. They were quite small.
Yeah.
A little further up, but they scooted off a little too fast. We couldn't grab pictures of them. And then we finally got back on a main road, and we were cruising, and we were good. We're on our way to Gaspé. But Gaspé, I guess, this year instituted a new thing because of last year's camping fiascos, where now you can't camp in any of the public areas. So any of the spots I was at before no longer available, because I tried to go back to the cool spot I was at last year, which was in the middle of Sandy Beach in like a little marshy area. So that wasn't available. So we drove around, I'd say almost an hour.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Yeah. But then Laura came up with the best idea ever. And she's like, there's a ski hill.
We slept at the bottom of the ski hill.
It was wonderful. We had a picnic table next to us.
So good.
There was just like hikers and stuff in the morning, but none of them said anything to us. And there was no signs that said we couldn't camp there.
Perfect.
It was wonderful. It was actually a very good sleep once we both were comfortable. So, day 3 recap. We're driving here, and just want to put it out there that before this recap, Laura needed to take a sip of water. She needed to unzip her sweater because she was getting hot.
I had to prepare for this.
So, I'm working with a diva here. Just want to put that out there. So, yesterday, it was actually a pretty great sleep once we were comfortable with the fact that we were not gonna hopefully get kicked out, or worst case, we get a knock on the window and get kicked out.
Lovely ski hill.
Really nice, actually. We made our breakfast on a picnic table, and then we got ourselves packed up, and we drove to Gaspé area.
Yeah.
Yeah, went for a hike there, kind of up and around. There was a crevasse. There was a waterfall. Yep. There was a petite crevasse.
Some good views of Gaspé.
Was very pretty.
About 10-kilometer hike.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yep. And then we got back, to the car, we grabbed some food, put some water in it, and walked down to the pier. Sat on some rocks, ate our bag of food. Yep.
And then made our way back to Gaspé.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on a mission to find a good classic lobster roll.
Like the shitty food truck kind, but
Yeah.
like that's not shitty, it's actually very delicious.
Delicious.
So we tried this first place, Chez Ron's.
Chez Ron's was not very friendly.
Chez Ron's not very friendly.
They didn't actually have lobster roll. After waiting about 20 minutes, we asked some locals, and they're like, yeah, no lobster rolls here.
We're like, okay.
I found a little casse-croûte, Joanne. It was delicious.
It was actually fantastic. So we took that food back to, there's a little beach area, so it's the same spot that I slept at last year. It's a little sandy beach that you can drive up to now, and then we walked out. We brought our chairs with us, and we sat on the beach, and we ate our lobster rolls and our french fries, and then we moved spots and watched the sunset. And it was beautiful. We had our blankets, we were wrapped up and like fairly cozy, and then all of a sudden it got cold.
Like, frigid cold.
Yeah. We were shivering as we were walking back to the car.
Not sure if either of us could feel our feet, but that's okay.
No, my favorite is that Laura goes, look at the view. And I'm looking, she goes, but don't stop walking. I was like,
so
oh my
cold.
God.
Like, look at the sunset. But keep walking.
You're not allowed to stop and observe it. And we drove back to our ski hill. We were there before dark, so we were actually able to get ourselves like really settled, take our time. And we got into the bed and it was nice and cozy. And then this sleep was a little different because we had many visitors.
Yep.
In the later times of the evening, so what, around, we went to bed probably
like 9:30.
Like 9:30, yeah.
Yeah.
It was early. And I think what, by 11?
11:30.
Yeah, 11:30. These cars showed up, and what were they even doing?
One just came in and like turned around and left after like maybe 5 minutes. The other one,
Yeah.
somehow we realized later on, just stayed there, lights off, with like music. We could hear the bass of the music.
Yeah, and
So
then
we were
people
like,
chatting
but
occasionally.
we thought the car had left, so all of
Yeah.
a sudden we could still hear music and people talking. We were quite confused.
We were like, where are they? And then eventually the car turned on and they pulled away, and we're like, wait, what? Where were they?
Yeah.
So, and then later in the night, there was a random car alarm went off.
Scared us.
Which
so
we were like,
much.
Jesus Christ. So we looked over, and I guess Laura could see it, I couldn't, but there was a car that had its headlights faced towards us. And we're like, what is happening?
So like the car had like backed in, so the back of the car was towards the ski hill. So they looked like they were set up, but we were very confused, like when they got there, what they were doing.
Yeah.
Sounded like the alarm went off, they got out of the car, and then we heard nothing.
So we were like, did they get back in the car? Are they out walking around? Laura and I guess both had these thoughts that we had to have a safety plan, but we didn't talk about the safety plan.
And we both thought each other had already fallen asleep, but we both had this whole plan in our head. We had no idea where the person went, what they were doing. It was like 1:40 in the morning.
Yeah. We're like, what is happening?
Very confused.
So we both decided in our own brains that worst case, we were both worried about the windows, so the windows rolled down further the night before. And we're like, oh no, they can reach in and grab us. But we both had this thought, and then it was my idea was worst case. I'm like, there has to be effort into getting their hands into the car, and they can't just like jump in. We're gonna know what's happening. So I will jump to the front seat under the curtain, and I will start the car, and we will get driving, and Laura will stay in the back, and she can go in the middle, and she won't get grabbed. And then I guess Laura had the same thought.
Same plan, except while Jeanette grabs the keys, I'll grab the food up from the front seat, and she'll jump into the front seat and get us going.
Yeah.
We had a plan.
We had a plan that we didn't communicate, but we now know if we were in an emergency situation, we'd be fine.
Yeah. All while I was thinking this, I thought Jeanette was fast asleep.
Yeah, I was very awake. And I didn't want to bother Laura because I'm like, I've already bothered her a lot tonight. I also woke up Laura for the first people, and Laura's like, I was already awake. And in my head, I'm like, you weren't awake. Like, I booped her to get her up. She was like, she was like, I was awake. I'm like, I don't think you were.
It was eventful.
It was
eventful
an
evening.
eventful evening, but we actually had a good sleep. And then this morning, day 4?
Yeah.
We drove to Fort Leon National Park.
Yes.
And we tried to do
Cap Bonami Trail. Very unsuccessful. We found the area, but could not find the trailhead. So that didn't work.
No.
But it was basically near a beach, so we just kind of hung out at the beach, explored that. Decided to walk through the water.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cold.
It was a little chilly.
Very rocky.
Yep.
But it was fun.
We were like, oh, let's go try and find Land's End, which like I went to last year. And we drove to the first lighthouse, which was not the correct lighthouse. So now we're just driving back along the coast.
All the way along the coast. It's beautiful.
All the way. It is spectacular.
So many lighthouses. Oh, we just stopped for lobster again.
Yes.
Literally a little canteen on a dockyard where there's like fishermen, and it was called Cantine du Pêcheur, the fisherman's canteen. It was very appropriate. Most wonderful lobster roll and poutine.
Well, yes, that's our plan today, is just to drive for a long time.
All the way along the coast.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we're hoping to get up past Rivière de Loup, and then we found a spot that we think will work for the night, and then tomorrow is driving back to Ottawa. Alright, Laura, last evening.
This is amazing. Love the view.
So we have beautiful view from the car here, and like, look at all the campers.
So many.
You can see them back there. They're partying. We want to join the party. This is our last morning in the camper car. We figured we'd give you a little tour of the digs. So, curtain, handy, cozy. We removed the side panels last night because we just wanted to breeze. Because we're in a nice spot where we don't need to worry about the windows being protected. Laura has stored her flashlight. Mine is also here. Keys are hooked here for easy access and locking ourselves in. Underneath Laura is her bag. Underneath me is also my bag. On this back end here, we decided to kind of forgo the cover that I created and just shove all our shit back there. And then when we get ready in the morning, we pull it all down and get ourselves sorted. I would also like to make sure that everyone knows that I did encourage Laura to get a pee jar. And to her happiness, she didn't have to use it.
I didn't use it. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Laura really encouraged me during this trip to make sure we planned out our bathroom breaks. It's not something that I did, so she's a happy addition to this trip.
Yeah, it's essential.
Final stop before back to Ottawa. We got the necessities, which is ice cream.
Obviously.
And the place was closed when we first got there, even though it said it would be open at noon. And it was like 12:20. But luckily, us and another little family were like, wait, but we want ice cream. And then the owners pulled up and opened the doors.
Same moment. We're like,
so we got ice cream.
great decision.
Great.